And now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay's Sporting Goods, the Yider Insurance Group, Forward Corporation and T.R. McTaggart, Angler Quest Boats, Security Credit Union, Garber Chevrolet, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. So glad to have you along. Welcome to the month of December. How was your week since we last talked? Have you done anything fun? Have you had a chance to get on the water? Have you had a chance to get in the woods? It's a great time of year to do that, isn't it? Not that there's ever really a bad time to be outdoors or on the water or in the woods, but this year especially, it is such a big deal. It's such a blessing. It's such a way to recharge. It's such a way to get rid of all the things that bombard us on a daily basis. You don't have to social distance when you're in the woods because you're already socially distanced. You don't have to wear a mask when you're on your boat because you're out there in the fresh air on the water. And because of that, we're seeing a resurgence, and I've talked about this a lot lately, but I think it's so cool. A resurgence in the interest in the outdoors. Will it continue? I don't know. I would like to think that there will be some residual effect after the world goes back to normal, whatever normal is these days. But even if it doesn't, we had a lot of people who were exposed to the outdoors or re-exposed, if there's such a word, to the outdoors, rekindled their interest. So I think it's all good. License sales are up. It's all good. It's all good. How did your firearm deer season go, by the way? Did you get your buck? Did you get a big doe? Did you get a small buck? It doesn't really matter, does it? I should say, did you get your deer? That's a better question. Did you get your deer during the Michigan firearm season? I didn't. Everybody around me did. But I didn't. But I was back out there. And that was my main goal for this season, is try to reconnect, and I did. And I'm enjoying that so much. I never saw a buck during the entire season to shoot at during the firearm season. I did see one buck during bow season, but it was late, and I only knew it was a buck because I heard him grunt. I just saw the silhouette and heard him grunt, so I knew he was a buck. Too late to shoot at him. It wasn't within recurve range anyway. And speaking of that recurve, even though I live in one of the counties that during the muzzleloader season this year I could use a centerfire rifle, I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go back to the recurve, to the Predator recurve. And I have absolutely nothing against hunting with a gun at all. Not at all. It was actually very cool to be sitting in a ground blind or sitting up in a tree stand with a 30-06 across my lap. It was part of the whole firearm deer hunting experience. My dad used to hunt with a 30-06, so in my mind, a Michigan deer gun is a 30-06. Or, of course, a 30-30. Times have changed. I realize that. So a couple of years ago, I bought myself a cheap bolt-action Remington 30-06, and I enjoyed it. And I never shot a deer with it, but I enjoyed hunting with it. Although, but now, though, I think I'm going to go back to the recurve. There's something... I got this weird thing going on in my brain that I have this strong desire to shoot a big doe with my recurve. And it just wouldn't be the same to do it with that 30-06. Again, nothing against it. Nothing against it at all. But it's just something I feel I need to do. And knowing that I probably won't this season. I did, though, when I picked up my recurve the other day, just checking it out, and for some reason, I checked the brace height on my recurve. Now, I realize there's not a lot of adjustment or tuning that goes along with a traditional bow, a long bow or a recurve. But the brace height, which is the difference from the string of the bow to the deepest part of the grip, or riser, if you want to call it that, where you put your hand up into the bow to grab it as far as it goes forward, back to the string. Mine, if I remember right, Mike told me from Predator bows, Hunter's Niche, that it's supposed to be, I think it was 7 1/4 inches. And mine was down to 7 inches. You might think, well, that's not a big deal, but I actually think it was. Because what that means is that throughout, turkey season and shooting all summer and, the bow being strung a lot during the archery season, that my string had stretched out, which means the bow wasn't shooting to its maximum efficiency. And I'm not getting the maximum performance, the maximum speed, the maximum kinetic energy. And it's just not shooting where it was designed to shoot. So I got to experiment with that a little bit. I'm still quite new to this, but I think I can just put a few twists in that bowstring to shorten it up a little bit and get my brace height back to where it needs to be. But I think that's the way I'm going to go. Muzzleloader season now, as you're hearing this show, is open statewide. It runs through the 13th in all 4 zones, the UP, the Northern Lower, and the Southern Lower. The big change for this year, and there's an awful lot of confusion about this, the big change for this year in the southern part of the state, in Zone 3, and check the hunting regs for details, but the southern part of the state, you can now use, in some counties, a centerfire rifle during the muzzleloader season. This does not apply to the UP. It does not apply to the Northern Lower. It's only the southern part of the state. And whatever gun was legal during rifle season will be legal during muzzleloader season. Meaning, if you live in a county that did not allow centerfire rifles, only a shotgun or a straight-walled cartridge like a .450, that's what you can use during muzzleloader season. But you can't use an .06 or a 7mm or a 270 or anything like that. It's not carte blanche for centerfire rifles across the entire state. But in some parts of the state, during the muzzleloader season, you can use a centerfire rifle through the 13th. Now, why did the DNR do this? It's all part of a plan to have hunters take more deer. The DNR biologists want us as Michigan deer hunters to take more deer. And with the numbers down, and even with the increase in hunters we've had for this year, our hunter numbers are still down. There are fewer hunters to do the work of managing the deer herd. So the hunters that are out there have to take more deer. Hence, all the special seasons, the late doe season coming up after the muzzleloader season, the allowance of centerfire rifles during the muzzleloader season in some parts of our state to take more deer. And you might say, well, I didn't see many deer to begin with. Why do we want to take more deer? And I could say that because I didn't see a lot of deer. But I know from my little perspective of the world and the tree stands and the ground blinds I've sat in that I don't have a good picture of the statewide situation. So I'm not going to try to second guess. Well, we are in the month of December now, which means Christmas, of course, is coming up right around the corner. People say, Avery, what should I get the outdoor enthusiast on my list? Well, I'm always eager. I'm always happy to help you spend your money. But a couple of things that always come to mind for me. Number one, a knife. Every outdoor enthusiast, hunter, angler, camper, whatever, loves a good knife. A folding knife. We used to call them a jackknife. I got one in my pocket right now. I always do. You can't go wrong with one of those. I like, for the hunter on your list, a turkey hunter, a bear hunter, a deer hunter, I like the Wraith 270 see-through ground blind, which you still can get at a great price. $200. OutdoorPregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20. Mike20. Somebody says, well, the season doesn't start till the 4th. But you have to realize, those of you who are watching the live feed, I'm recording the radio show. So the muzzleloader season, yes, and you're not wrong, but neither am I. The muzzleloader season in Michigan is December 4th through the 13th. But I'm recording the radio show, and by the time people see the radio show, but that's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Hunter safety system vest. If you got somebody who goes up a tree stand, you can't beat that. For an angler on your list, how about the Precision Trolling app? Anybody who trolls could use a Precision Trolling app, and I think it's like $10, $15, whatever it is. Speaking of trolling, speaking of fishing, coming up in the third segment, or the last segment of the second hour, this week's Ask Avery segment, an update on my quest to eliminate the restriction on the number of trolling rods. I've teamed up with some other folks. We're going to change the focus a little bit. I think it has a better chance of actually being approved. Details on that. Don't forget about our Wednesday night live every Wednesday night, 7 o'clock on Mike Avery Outdoors on the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, and the Twitter feed. We give away a Michigan brand ham, usually some Speedy Blaze as well. Next week, or this week coming up, as you're listening to the radio show, the Wednesday night live coming up on the 9th, I think it is. Yeah, the 9th. Details on our Ohio hunt with Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters, the dates, the price, all that good stuff. Coming up on this week's show after the break, Tony Demboski of the Upper Peninsula Sportsmen's Alliance, Scott Szfranski of Linwood Beach talking about the tremendous walleye fishing on Saginaw Bay right now. Ken Dalton with his efforts to get us a Michigan pheasant tag. In hour number 2, Gabe Van Wormer talks about hunting the late season. Amy Trotter of MUCC. Then the Ask Avery segment with an update on the trolling rod situation. Hour number 3, Dave Rose of Wild Fishing, and Dave Miner, Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire. A busy show. Glad you're with us. Stick around. We got 3 hours talking about the great outdoors, the history and tradition of the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan, right here on Outdoor Magazine. Ground blinds are a great option for hunters. They're safe, protect you from the weather, and they hide your movements. And the new see-through blinds take ground hunting to the next level because you can see out, but the game can't see in. Until now, you've had to pay a lot of money for that feature, but not anymore. Primal Tree Stand's new Wraith 270 see-through blind is just $200 if you go to OutdoorPregame.com and use the promo code Mike20. The Wraith 270 features 270 degrees of visibility, silent slide windows, and it weighs just 16 pounds. It's lighter and less expensive than the competition. To get yours at the discounted price, go to the website OutdoorPregame.com. That's OutdoorPregame.com and use the promo code Mike20. That'll drop the price to just $200. Again, go to OutdoorPregame.com, use the promo code Mike20, and you can get a new Wraith 270 see-through blind for just $200. I think you're going to thank me for this one. You know, it's always a pleasure for me to find new businesses to work with, and this time I want to tell you about a company I use to put graphics on my new Silverado. Sign Image in Saginaw did a great job in coming up with a design for my truck, and they did a very professional job of installing the wrap as well. I started out with a hand-sketched idea of what I wanted, and the folks at Sign Image took it from there. The truck looks great, and I'm getting lots of compliments. But Sign Image does more than just wrap vehicles. They're a full-service graphics shop, and they specialize in signs and electronic message centers. In fact, they were voted the best sign company in Michigan 3 years running. To learn more about Sign Image, check out their website. It's signimage1.com. That's signimage1.com. On that website, you can see examples of their work, including a picture of my truck. Again, the website signimage1.com.
It's a complicated world we live in. Right about now, I'll bet your head is spinning like a tornado with news and opinions and conflicting do this and don't do that recommendations. Some days, you just want to throw up your hands, go to the woods, and stay there. And you know, that's not a bad idea. Jay's Sporting Goods encourages you to get back to your roots. Do some simple, traditional things for a while. In Michigan's great outdoors, space is one thing we have plenty of. So put as much social distance as you like between you and everyone else, including all your social media pals who somehow just recently became experts on every topic. And one more thing. Before you head out, head into Jay's Sporting Goods. Because even though there are shortages of a lot of things these days, Jay's has just what you need to make the most of your escape to our beautiful wide open spaces. It's the gateway to social distancing the way God intended. Jay's Sporting Goods, Clare and Gaylord.
Hey, you like to hunt for different game in changing conditions, but it can be expensive to buy hunting clothes in every pattern. Well, now there's a way to change your camo without breaking the bank. With VersaSkins, you can buy one set of hunting clothes and change the pattern to suit your surroundings. You can switch from whitetail to waterfowl, blaze orange, and snow camo by just snapping on a new skin. Plus, VersaSkins keep you warm, dry, and protect you from the elements. To learn more, check out the website versaskins.com. VersaSkins, just change the skin for the season you're in.
When you buy a Michigan hunting or fishing license, you're helping to fund conservation efforts across the state. The majority of funding for taking care of Michigan's fish and wildlife comes from you, hunters and anglers, not state taxes. So on behalf of the Michigan Wildlife Council, we'd like to thank you for your part in ensuring that Michigan's hunting and fishing heritage will be here for generations. Learn how the Michigan Wildlife Council promotes the role of hunting and fishing at hereformioutdoors.org.
You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Port Huron on WPHM 1380 AM. You can hear us in St. Joe on WSJM 94.9 FM. And north of the bridge in the Sioux on ESPN 1400 WKNW. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Boning Archery, Michigan-based Boning. Next year we'll celebrate 75 years in the archery industry. How cool is that? What a tremendous accomplishment. Congrats to everybody at the Boning family, because they are family. I mean, they're a Michigan-based company. Been around since Roland Boning invented Ferrule-Tite to glue broadheads to aluminum and, at the time, wood shafts. These days, Boning continues to innovate with new products for target archers and for bow hunters as well. Check them out online at boning.com. BOHNING, boning.com. They had a big celebration, a big party scheduled for the ATA show, that was the Archery Trade Association show, that was supposed to be in January. ATA has been canceled, like so many other things have. So they're going to do their best and have as many virtual celebrations as they can, and I'm going to help them celebrate as well. It's Boning Archery, BOHNING, boning.com is the website. While you are online, please check out my website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And this one as well, it's kind of a long one. It is Upper Peninsula Sportsmen's Alliance website.com. You can guess that's the website for the Upper Peninsula Sportsmen's Alliance. Tony Demboski, a key member of that group for many years, joins us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. Tony, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, long time no talk to you, my friend.
Hey, it's been too long. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Enjoying my semi-retirement and doing things that I haven't been able to do for years.
Well, what is this semi-retirement? Why did you just jump in with both feet and just fully retire, Tony?
Well, we came a long way with the Sportsmen's Alliance, and I'm kind of like a chief advisor.
I got you.
And things go I'm single and I live by myself. So a lot of times there's things that I get into some telephone conversations, and people ask me for my advice, and
they should, because you've been a key figure in that group for so many years, and so many other sportsman-related issues across the UP. How did your firearm season go, Tony?
My personally one.
Yeah.
Not very good, because I never shot anything. Hot topic here in the UP right now, okay? My own personal experience, I have three deer, 2 does and a fawn, and I hunted every day, and except for 2 days, I seen these same 3 deer every day, okay? So we have a serious problem up here, especially in my area and a lot of the other areas. We have, and I'll be real frank, we have too many wolves. I personally watched a wolf chase 2 deer through my yard at the camp. My group of people had 3 other cameras out on their areas. Each of them has several pictures of the wolves. My neighbor up there ran into, here a couple days ago, walking. He has 340s. He was walking to 40. He ran into 3 wolves, or 5 wolves, and on the other side of 40, he ran into 3. Okay, and then one night when he was coming home, just getting dark, he had 5 wolves laying in between where he parks his truck and where his mobile home is at. And everybody I talk to, they're seeing more wolves than deer.
You're in the far western UP, right, Tony?
No, I'm in the southwest corner of Iron County.
Okay.
Okay, so considered part of the central. I'm in 022. Area 022.
You know, I was talking about wolves a couple of weeks here on the show, and I had somebody say, Avery, there's not too many wolves, and I have a feeling they were a troll from below the bridge. And they said, there's only a given number of wolves across the entire UP, and I said, but you got to remember that the wolves aren't evenly dispersed. There's in the pockets where there are, and this is my perception, Tony, because I'm a troll too. Yep. My perception is in the areas where there are wolves, there are indeed too many in those areas, right?
Yes, and I know out on the eastern end, over at the far eastern end, they're saying right now they got more wolves than they have deer. And I know that. In the northern part of Iron County, southern part of Houghton, and that they got wolves unreal out all the way out to the western, Ontonagon County, and that. I quote this here one time. Remember not too long ago, Mike, there was a coyote down in the city limits of Sterling Heights. It made the national news. Okay.
Yeah.
The DNR took out 17 wolves out of the Ironwood city limits. They don't even make the local paper.
I hadn't heard anything about it.
Oh, yeah, I know. But the DNR did take out 17 wolves out of the city limits of Ironwood. Huh. That's kind of unreal.
Well, Tony, between the wolves, between the loss of the deer yards, between the threat of CWD, is there any? I mean, is it all bad news?
Well, the last yesterday I got a report of a count at bridge count, which is not an official type thing, okay, but they're down 32% from last year. Hmm. And the year before, they were down 27%. So, did that give you any ideas?
Yeah.
And it's kind of unreal. I'm sitting here myself. Okay, I have a doe permit for Area 022. I didn't shoot a buck because I never seen one. Okay, but I'm considering not even using my doe permit. I mean, because I see the 3 deer. And if I shoot one, then there's only going to be 2.
So what can your group and your affiliate groups do? I mean, because the wolf situation is not in your hands; it's in the Fed's hands. Habitat improvement is not something you're gonna do overnight. This is a generational thing. So you are correct. Okay. So what are you working at? What can you do?
Well, we can do the first thing, I already know, since they come off the list, that the Humane Society is demanding time for the Natural Resources Commission. So that is a big problem.
Yeah, we knew that was coming, huh?
Oh yeah, it's coming. You know it's going to come. Okay. I was connected with that for so many years that it was unreal. But other thing, I think. Weather had a lot to do with it up here this year, especially in my area. We had at one time we had 5 inches of rain at one night.
Wow.
Okay, it took the roads and everything. Okay, and then shortly thereafter we got another 4 inches. Okay, and the ground is so saturated there was no place for the water to go. And I got areas out there where I'm at. I was out hunting birds and stuff like that. Okay, places where I have, in all my years of being where I'm at, I have never seen so much water in the woods as there is this year.
And there's nothing anybody can do about that. I mean, that's just an act of God, right?
Yeah, I realize that. Okay, but in some areas where deer are on the edges of swamp or crossing swamps, they're full of water. Now, can a deer? I'm just looking at it because I'm not a biologist, just experience-wise. Okay, if a deer is walking in the water and he's sinking in the mud, yet below that, is they're going to change their pattern? You betcha they are. You know, they're not going to be walking through there. And we knew it right from this fall. We're not seeing as tracks. The only tracks we were seeing was wolf tracks. You know, I guess what you say that, and I've been getting calls from all over. No deer. They're not seeing deer. So, but you know, something that maybe I would kind of look at, and if I was still running a UPSA, okay, you know, the UP is so different than the Lower Peninsula. Okay, we have three different areas here in the UP. We have no snow, low snow, or medium snow, and high snow. Okay, and each area is different. You know, you can't compare Marquette County with Menominee County, even in the UP, and it's not that many miles in between. Okay, but I think I'm not saying because I'm not thoroughly convinced that the estimated deer counts are anywhere near correct. The same with the wolf counts. Most people believe that there's a lot more wolves than what the DNR says there is. You know, and this year's, I'd be curious to see what the final deer count is going to be.
Yeah, we won't know that for a little while yet, will we?
No, we won't. Okay. Well, I filled out my camp survey. I sent it in, and I made my comments on that. Okay. One of the things that's a good possibility is we need to start treating the UP as letting getting more influence from different organizations and different hunter surveys and stuff that pertains just to the UP, not just to the whole state, for the UP. And let some of the people in the UP have something to say about the quotas and things like that in areas where can shoot more deer. And we know we have more deer in areas. Southern Menominee County and that. Just, you know, they got more deer than they know what to do with. And there's other places, they don't have any deer. You know, you take up in the Keweenaw. Those guys up there, the sports organizations up there, spend thousands of dollars every year feeding the deer in the wintertime. And they feel strongly that if they don't feed those deer, they'll lose them because of the amount of snow and stuff they get up there. And you know, and then we got reports of a guy who wants to open up does up there wide open for the archery season and everything.
Tony, listen, I hate to cut you off, but I am out of time. But one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on was to see how your deer season went and to let people know about the group, the Upper Peninsula Sportsmen's Alliance. So Tony's talking about getting a voice for the UP. Well, the Upper Peninsula Sportsmen's Alliance is a group that has combined a bunch of Upper Peninsula-related and downstate groups to address the UP issues. The website, Upper Peninsula Sportsmen's Alliance website.com. Got to take a break. When we come back, Scott Szfranski of Linwood Beach Marina down on Saginaw Bay. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Traverse City on WTCM. It's 580 AM. You can hear us in Flint on Super Talk 1570 WWCK. And you can hear us north of the bridge in Iron Mountain on WMIQ 1450 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by MUCC's On the Ground program. OTG is a program to improve habitat for fish and wildlife across the state. For details, check out the Michigan United Conservation Club's website. It's MUCC.org, MUCC.org. And while you're on that website, if you want to save 25% on your membership, either a renewal or a first time joining the organizations, use the promo code Mike, all caps, M-I-K-E, and you can save 25%. How cool is that? If you talk about the best time of year, in many anglers' opinion, to catch a trophy walleye, a true double-digit wall hanger fish of a lifetime, this is it, now and into the ice fishing season. And there are two fisheries right now in Michigan absolutely on fire for those trophy fish. One, Lake Erie, and the other one, Saginaw Bay. Now, I spend all summer chasing walleye on Saginaw Bay on the Angler Quest, and I love it. But the fish we're catching in the summertime are kind of on the small side. Still a lot of fun, but very few really big fish. If you go out there right now, your odds of catching, as I say, one of those trophy fish is probably the best of the year. And nobody knows that better than Scott Szfranski of Linwood Beach Marina, linwoodbeachmarina.com online. Scott has been on the water himself. In fact, last weekend, he landed just a beautiful fish, a double-digit fish. I posted on the Mike Avery Outdoors Facebook page. And Scott's with us now to talk about that fishery and more. Scott, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, good, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, always a pleasure to talk with you. And how are things at Linwood Beach right now? It's been an interesting year for all of us, but you guys have come through it, haven't you?
Yeah, we have with the the COVID concerns starting in March. Created some challenges, but June, July, in our traditional summer business pattern kind of came to pass. Really busy selling boats, and the fishing was good. So, got some different protocols to follow nowadays, but trying to keep business as usual as we can.
When you talk about boat sales, I hear boat sales right now are really strong.
Well, I think it's a combination of, people kind of leaning towards recreation, in today's environment. But there's also some challenges with supply. I've talked to Brad at Angler Quest several times, and it's just kind of a weird world. I mean, they might have a COVID case in a vinyl plant somewhere, and it delays supply, and kind of just creates some problems. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And, of course, Linwood Beach kind of, in my opinion, I don't want to say the birthplace of AnglerQuest because they started at Apex Marine in St. Louis, but you guys were the first people to really embrace it, and I think you're AnglerQuest Central here in Michigan. But let's get to the topic at hand. The trophy walleye fishery out there right now, Scott. It's really good. Will be until ice up. For people out of town, basically, how do we get started? Where do we go and what do we use?
Well, to get started, I mean... we've had a little bit of a weird year, situations due to high water temps during the summer. We had quite a migration, I believe, of fish out of the bay. So I think we're still waiting for the big numbers, to be honest with you, as good as the fishing's been. And we've had some large fish being caught, but, traditionally, starting around mid-October, we've got some pretty huge numbers available to catch by now. And I don't think we have as many, but the quality of fish is there. And I think it's just important to, not to troll out of an area if you pick up a couple of fish and know your dive curves of your lures. And, we've got fish, traditional areas in and around the marina here. The Cigar is about 3.5 miles out. That's a decent area. And guys have been fishing there and beyond, east of the channel in some areas, even up to 1 and 2 channel buoys. So just a matter of kind of getting out there and finding them, trusting your graph and your electronics and knowing those dive curves and putting those lures where those fish are at.
Actually, deeper than what I would have thought, Scott. I would have thought you would have told me in shallower water, and that's part of the late migration you're talking about?
I believe so. I just think that we're a little bit behind, being an odd year with the warm, starting with the warm temperatures during the summer. And it's really not a question of, if the super aggressive bite's going to happen. It's really when. But, the later it gets, as well as I do that now we're getting into September. So now we're getting these winter temps and weather. We might start getting some ice formation, and that might make it difficult to fish them out of the boat, but the ice conditions aren't good enough to get at them that way. So now we're kind of getting into a little bit of a tricky situation, I believe, where the bite's going to continue to get good. Don't get me wrong, but might be kind of more of a pick your day type thing. and hopefully we can go one way or the other. I mean, we can either fish them in boats, or we get some ice formation this year, which we haven't had for a couple of years. But if we do, I think this year's winter fishing is going to be lights out if this bay freezes over.
Well, I know you folks at Linwood Beach Marina would welcome a good ice fishing season. The website, linwoodbeachmarina.com. For all things walleye fishing, open water, for ice fishing, also a great jumping-off point for fall waterfowl hunters when that season is in place. The campground there is phenomenal. Just great people all the way around. LinwoodBeachMarina.com. Also, you can get an angler quest there as well. Thank you, Scott. We'll check in again when the ice forms, if it does.
Thank you, Mike. Talk soon.
All right, I look forward to it. Scott Szfranski of Linwood Beach Marina, LinwoodBeachMarina.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, wrap up the first hour of this week's show, talking with the pheasant. Yes, I said the pheasant. Ken Dalton of the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative. Their last-ditch efforts to try to get a pheasant stamp here in the great state of Michigan. After the break right here on Outdoor Magazine.
At Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, Caro, and now Chesaning. We're better for a reason. Like Garber's low price guarantee. Get incredible everyday low prices on a new Chevy Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, or Trax. Think you found a better deal somewhere else? Bring it to us, and we will beat it. Getting more options and choices is always better. And Garber's combined inventory is the Great Lakes Bay region's largest selection of new Chevrolets. Browse online at GarberChevrolet.com. Then use our Buy From Home feature to purchase entirely online. And Garber Chevrolet's customer service is in a class of its own. We always put your needs first. Better prices, better selection. There's a reason why you'll do better at Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, Caro, and now Chesaning. Home of the low price guarantee. Online at GarberChevrolet.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You'll do better at Garber.
Have you tried the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks from Michigan Brand Meats? They feature two of my favorites, elk and pepper, and I think they taste great. I've been working with the Grillo family of Michigan Brand for a few years now, and I couldn't be happier. Michigan Brand is family-owned and based right here in Michigan, and they make lots of great products. From jerky, sausage, and those hunter sticks to their famous Michigan Brand hams, you can't go wrong with Michigan Brand meats. Plus, Michigan Brand can process your boned-out wild game, too. Check out the website, MichiganBrand.net, for more info. That's MichiganBrand.net. You can buy the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks on that website. Plus, you can get them at Jay's Sporting Goods, all Forward Convenience Stores, Jack's Fruit Markets, and many other great stores, too. There's a complete list on the website. Again, that's MichiganBrand.net for the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks, the outstanding Michigan Brand hams, and lots more. MichiganBrand.net. Security Credit Union wants to thank you for helping to make them one of Michigan's fastest growing credit unions. Check out Security's Debit Rewards program, where you can earn points just by using your debit or Titanium Rewards credit card. Redeem those points for great gifts and merchandise. Or how about the Save to Win account? That's a Security Credit Union account that gives you all the benefits of a traditional savings account, plus the chance to win big. Every $25 you deposit into this share certificate earns you an entry into the monthly and quarterly drawings. The more you save, the more chances to earn. Up to 10 entries per month. You'll build up your savings, earn interest and dividends, and have a chance at multiple prizes. And remember, Security Credit Union loves to work with outdoorsmen and women, and they can help you with your next outdoor adventure. Check them out online at securitycu.org. That's securitycu.org. Federally insured by the NCUA. The folks at Yider Insurance Group know you have lots of money invested in your hunting and fishing gear, and they want you to be protected. The Yider family has been in the insurance business for more than 75 years, and they build a reputation for taking great care of their customers. As a full-service agency featuring auto owners insurance, Yider can insure your fishing and hunting gear, your boat, snowmobile, ATV, and trailer, just about everything you depend on for your outdoor adventures. Yider also specializes in protecting outdoor-related businesses, From fishing guides to shooting ranges, anything for the great outdoors. The folks at Yider can help you because they're hunters and anglers themselves, and they know what we need from an insurance company. For more info, go to their website, huntingandfishinginsurance.com. That's huntingandfishinginsurance.com. Or call them toll-free at 800-975-6473. I trust the Yider Group and auto owners for all my insurance needs. Because with Yider and auto owners, you've got friends in the outdoor insurance business. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Battle Creek on WBCK 95.3 FM. You can hear us in Alpena on WZTK 105.7 FM. And north of the bridge in Ishpeming, WIAN, that's 1240 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine brought to you by Suspension Max. I've had the guys from Suspension Max level and lift, I think, 5 different trucks at this point. The last one they worked on was my Garber Chevy 2021. Beautiful truck. Looks even better now that the front end is lifted up. Lift kits, leveling kits. If you look at all the trucks these days, it's part of the design feature that they go down the road looking like they're running downhill. The front end is low, and I don't know if it's a safety thing. I don't know if it's a mileage thing or what. But in my opinion, I like to get that front end up a little bit. You can put some bigger tires under there. You can put a snow plow on the front if you want. And the guys from Suspension Max can help you with that. The website, suspensionmax.com. And Max is M-A-X-X. Suspensionmax.com. While you are online, check out this website, mphi.info. mphi.info. That's the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative website. Ken Dalton, the pheasant, the man behind this all, joins me now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. Ken, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike. How about yourself?
I'm doing real good, but I know you're putting a push on here. It's kind of a, I don't want to know if I can say it's a last-ditch effort, but tell me what's going on. What do you need help with?
Okay, well, we're in the final stages of getting the pheasant bill stamp passed, and I was wanting to get with you because you've been so supportive of the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative to urge people to go to their Michigan state senators and give them a phone call to support the pheasant stamp bill. And to do that, they could, if they find out who their senator is, they can go on their computer or on their device and they put their zip code in it and they tell them exactly who they need to call. So we can get this wrapped up.
Well, you're dealing with a lame duck legislature right now. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
No, it's a good thing. We have tremendous support from the senators. We just want to make sure that they remember that this is a time to get this accomplished, because if it doesn't get passed this December, it's going to take us a whole new. We're going to have to start all over again to get this pheasant hunting initiative program up and running, and we need to get it done this year so it will be successful for 2021.
Gotcha. So you want to get it done now so you don't have to start over when you get a new crop in Lansing.
Right.
Remind folks what this is all about. You want a pheasant stamp similar to you want a Michigan pheasant stamp similar to the federal duck stamp? Along that line?
Yes, just like it's with the federal duck stamp, state and federal stamps for duck hunting, that gives you the opportunity to pursue waterfowl. With the pheasant stamp, it gives you, this will be our funding mechanism so that we can buy birds from the Game Bird Breeders Association of Michigan and stock them on state game areas for hunters to have opportunity to go pheasant hunting for 57 days a year, any day they want, anytime they want, with any of their friends and family members, other than, like it used to be. It's just going to be a great thing here, and this is going to be our funding mechanism. And we need this stamp to get the money for the birds, and it will be supported by hunters' dollars, not no taxpayer dollars. Hunters will fund their own pheasant hunting program.
Are other states doing this now, or is Michigan taking the lead on this?
Oh, there's 23 other states that are doing this right now. One of the most successful is Pennsylvania. They sold 42,000 pheasant stamps last year and released 220,000 pheasants for their hunters. Very successful program. Another one was Wisconsin. They released 70,000 pheasants. They built $1.5 million hatchery, and they've also been in the pheasant raise and release business since 1936. And at Christmas time, it's so successful, I think it's going into the 5th year. They have a holiday hunt where they release 2,300 pheasants next to urban areas to draw hunters out of the cities and back into the fields. And it's so successful that they just continue to do it year after year.
It sounds like
Michigan would even do that.
Well, it sounds like the old put and take pheasant hunt.
It sounds like the old put and take, but it's in no way, shape, or form like the old put and take program, because the way I designed it was the pheasants are going to be raised by the private game bird breeders of Michigan, and they're going to be released on unknown release dates after shooting hours. And I've been involved in some of these releases. They take place in the dark, so nobody knows when they're going to be released there or what day, and it's just actually just like a real wild pheasant hunt. And plus the birds that they're raising on these pheasant places are just unbelievable, high-quality birds. And if they wasn't high-quality birds, the shooting preserve industry wouldn't be thriving like they are in this day and age, because hunters are continually going back to shooting preserves. And the shooting preserve industry supports the Pheasant Hunting Initiative also because of the sharp decline in hunter numbers. They know that if they don't get this turned around, at some point they will be out of business also.
So what you're looking for is help from Michigan hunters who want to be Michigan pheasant hunters. Contact your state. You say it's in the Senate's hands right now. Contact your state senator and tell them you'd like them to support the Michigan Pheasant Stamp. Details at mphi.info. Thank you, Ken.
Yep. Yes, that's it.
All right. Ken Dalton of the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative. They call him the Pheasant because he is the man who, I'm telling you, single-handedly worked his tail off to get this concept going, to get it accepted, to get the pilot program going. The website, mphi.info. We'll take a break. When we come back in hour number 2, talking with a guy who I consider to be extremely interesting and knowledgeable, Gabe Van Warmer. You know Gabe. He's been on the outdoor scene here in Michigan for a long time, talking about the late season deer hunt, handgun hunting, Bushmaster, fishing, you name it, in hour number 2 of Outdoor Magazine.